Hello, everyone. Welcome to another round of the Galactic Podracing circuit for 2021. My name is Game Draco. Joining me today is solid runner King Bean Dip again, and
Hello,
we're
hello.
starting on Endoprime Centrum. So, so we
Uh,
have
we,
BananaBoatKid. Oh, so we have BananaBoatKid, who's incredibly solid runner of this game in a very short period of time, and we have Nets No Good, who's a veteran from the tournament last year. So
yep.
we should be starting
We
shortly. Now looks like BananaBoatKid is going with Ben, and Nets No Good is going with Bullseye Navoir.
yeah. So Banana Boat Kid is a rookie to the tournament. He started running the game, I think, a little over a year ago.
I think so.
Um, and he, right off the bat, he was putting forward some really strong times. He actually currently holds the world record for abyss skips. So I would not be at all surprised if he decides to take us there, as long as that Snow Good doesn't ban the track. Ben Quadaneros is certainly the stronger pick on this track. But he is a little more difficult to use, so many players decide to opt instead for the much more agile Bullseye Navarre, who is not at all a slow pod, but still significantly slower than Ben in a competitive context like this.
Particularly on this track, or no, Bulls, Beto, Mars, and Elon are faster than Bullseye here.
Uh-huh.
I think both are off now. And this turn in this tunnel BananaBoatKid is in is one of the few parts of the game where you have to use the brakes.
Mm-hmm. The pals on BBK's the sink.
Oh,
Looks
and
like that's no good.
that's
Got
the
a death.
yeah, he
We weren't
crashed.
able to see the death though.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's
Ooh,
another death.
crashes again.
When you boost, the pod loses half of its turn rate, and so it can become really difficult to take turns while you're boosting, and you really have to set up all your turns properly for it.
Yeah,
It looks like
and
that's no
every
good. It's having a little difficulty with that.
and every pod is different, which makes it even harder.
Uh-huh.
Whoa!
Ooh!
BananaBoatKid took a death on the guardrail.
He still has a very significant lead. Though I should mention that we record all of the times that are posted in tournament runs. So even just for that reason, it's kind of disappointing to get a death. As you won't be able to put forward your best foot on the tournament record.
That's no good. Frozen a place where I feel like he's gonna crash, and you don't know if that happened or not.
It looks like it didn't. So this track is very unique because of the city section. This one section of the track probably has more routes that you can use than any other section of any track in the game. And some of the routes are clearly just, detours. But the main route here, even on the main route, there are a couple of different options for a really fast way through.
And 241 with a death. Wow.
That is a pretty strong time. again, considering the death. That is, wow, that's actually really strong time. So a death typically costs in this game 4 to 5 seconds, and that time that he posted was 6 seconds behind the world record. So without that death, he would have been, pushing for one of the strongest times that we've seen in the tournament so far.
Okay, with both of them done, we're going to go into the track permabans.
Both players will be able to ban 2 tracks that cannot be used for the remainder of the match, and no Nacho. Neither player has the spectator sheet set up. So we'll see which tracks they remove from their roster. There are 25 tracks in the game, and so removing 4 is actually not that many. All right, that's no good. Is taking out Fire Mountain Rally, BananaBoatKid, Mongaza Speedway. So interestingly, those are the longest and the shortest tracks in the game by time. Fire Mountain Speedway is extremely difficult. Mongaza Speedway is a 45-second track that, if you die, it's an automatic loss, basically, because the track is so short.
BananaBoatKid banning Zugga.
Fire Mountain Speedway. Is that what I said?
Yes.
My mouth works most of the time.
And Vengeance from Not So Good.
Now we need to make a track called Fire Mountain Speedway.
Okay, up next is Not So Good Bane a Pod.
He chose Ben, and that only applies to the next track. And then BananaBoatKid will be able to ban a track. That's right, Grabvine Gateway is still in play. Abyss.
Scrappers Run. No forces. Okay, so we're going to Scrappers Run. That's the good going with Bullseye again.
That's a pretty safe pick here.
Not so sure what BananaBoatKid's picking. It looks like he's going to choose Mars.
Yeah, both of those picks are very good. Since Ben is taken out, who would be the fastest here? Mars and Bullseye are both very safe picks. Mars is certainly faster, but this is a rather treacherous track. Yeah, so the first turn on this track, if you fall down, it puts you on a detour that is about 20 seconds long, which is just brutal. And not only that,
that's Abyss. This is Scrappers Run.
Oh shoot. Sorry. Alright, my brain is really not working today. One of these days I'll be able to figure out which track we're doing. I'll start calling this one Fire Mountain Run.
45 despite a death, 46.
BBK not opting for the jump, which is probably wise. There is a jump past the corner that saves a small amount of time, but is quite dangerous.
And
so it is a bit easier with Mars than other pods.
Though I will say, even the regular way is dangerous in itself.
This is true. So the tube here is considered fast terrain.
Nope, and there
so
goes BananaBoatKid crushing on the caution wall of death.
One of the most difficult things about this track is how many tight turns it has. BananaBoatKid coming in with a 207, which is decent for Mars. He did get a death.
You got 2.
Oh, he got 2 deaths. I would really like to see a deathless run from BananaBoatKid to see what sort of times he can put up on these tracks. So once again, that's no good. We'll be banning a pod. Mars Guo. That may or may not be an interesting choice depending on which track he takes us to. Inferno Skip's calling it now.
Man, my guy's a speedway again.
Yeah, he banned Mongaza Speedway, but that's already a permaban. So you can choose the different one. Maybe he just really doesn't want to go to that track.
Malister 100 front.
And now that's no good. We'll be picking our track. Abyss.
No forces.
Alright. So now we can suddenly regard everything I was saying about Abyss on the last track. So Mars is banned, which is interesting. I suspect BananaBoatKid will take Ben, who is the faster pod, but only if he feels really comfortable with him. I suspect he probably does, but I'm not sure entirely. Let's see here. Yeah, BananaBoatKid has a really strong time with Ben on the leaderboards, so he will probably use Ben. Is this the first Abyss full track of the tournament?
I think so.
Yes it is. This is a very brave track pick. Alright, so what I was saying earlier about Abyss when we were on Scrappers. Abyss has the first turn on Abyss is very dangerous because it's a tight turn, and if you fall off, you get put on a lower path that adds about 20 seconds to your lap time, which is just brutal. And not only that, but it's very easy to die on the detour. So it's just bad news all around. It is possible to climb back up if you fall down. I don't know if that's no good, knows how to do the climb.
It's also only really reliable at high frame rates too, because if you fall off the top level at N64 24 frames per second, it's almost impossible to get back up. And Bullseye is probably the safest pick for this track.
Yeah, probably. And there we do see BBK using Ben. Oh, and he falls off. So that's no good. That's no good died, however. What? Did he respawn on top?
Nope.
Okay, well, that's no good. Does know how to do the climb. BananaBoatKid already did it.
Looking like he's gonna have to take. Whoa!
Oh, he got it. Nice. Yeah, BBK about to annihilate the tourney record. As long as he doesn't die.
Got respawned on the top level.
So we do have multiplayer for this game on the PC version.
Whoa!
Whoa! BananaBoatKid fell off in a strange place. He does quickly get the climb back up though. But yeah, it's not stable enough for a tournament setting like this. So instead, both players are just streaming, and Speed Gaming is capturing their streams and rebroadcasting it. That was a very strong looking lap 2. Except that he did fall off and had to climb back up and lost a little bit of time from that.
This one looks like it's gonna be the fastest of the fastest.
It's a little difficult to tell how That's No Good is doing with his stream being so choppy. But he is getting on. And here he comes with his lap 2. BBK looking like about a 220.
220.
Nice.
Ah! You made it.
And that is a tournament record. Nice. Let's see here. The previous tournament record was 221.39 by Mikey Berger. That was last year. Very nice.
310, 303. Almost full 50 seconds behind. And now we're going on to Bang Bullseye.
Oh, in case there's a little bit confusion about what's going on with the tournament records, this is the first time Abyss has been done full track in this year's tournament, but we can also compare the times against those set on previous years.
BananaBoatKid strategically banning Gravine Gateway with that Bullseye ban.
Gravine Gateway is
Spice
the hardest
Mine
track
Run.
in the game, so it's it is a popular ban. Spice Mine Run is one of the easier tracks in the game.
Expect both to use Ben here.
Ben is certainly the obvious pick. Yeah, 220 on Abyss is kind of scary. Especially in tournament.
And he's also a beast at the skip, too.
Yeah, he holds the world record on the skip by half a second.
That was just dumb luck, too.
The Abyss skip is so wild to watch.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's also one of the oldest skips because it goes back to 2009.
Just for reference, the Abyss full track is about 2 minutes 16 for the world record. The Abyss skip is 18 seconds.
The lap record is even more ridiculous. You can get under 3 seconds.
Yep. It's basically the amount of time it takes to drive in a circle. And we do see That's No Good choosing Ben for this track, which is good. There would be no advantage to using Bullseye here. He is both slower and his handling is not needed.
Yeah.
That's No Good qualified in 18th place out of 21 players. BananaBoatKid qualified in 4th. And we are in the group phase of the tournament. So after, in the next few weeks, the tournament will move into double elimination.
About just under 3 weeks now.
Yep. BananaBoatKid looking very strong as expected. He is going pretty wide through this corkscrew. But he is maintaining his heat well. It can be very easy to underheat in this section of track.
It's also super easy to overheat on this track because of the temptation to boost all the time.
Yep. Yeah, this track is kind of interesting. You can boost pretty much any time you want, except for the final turns before the start-finish line. This track also has various alternate routes. It looked like That's No Good did not choose the fastest one. There could be a
No.
variety of reasons for that. And here BananaBoatKid tackling this corkscrew again. It's important that he hugs that right wall as tight as he can. He looked much better here on the second lap than the first lap. By hugging the corners tighter, you travel less distance to complete the lap, and therefore you get a faster time.
1:14.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Oh!
He died on the dozer.
It's bad luck. So this track has this dozer that moves back and forth on a timer, and it's always positioned on lap 3 in such a location to kill world record pace runs. It is extremely annoying. It is possible, like I think barely, to beat it to that position. There is an alternative, which is to manipulate its position, but BananaBoatKid did not use the manipulation, which he would have had to do before the race started. It's easy to forget to do it. And here he comes in on the final straight for a 347. That almost certainly would have been a 343, 342 had he not died.
Match point for BananaBoatKid.
And That's No Good finishing up, going through the market section right now, which is one of my favorite parts in the game, just visually. It's really cool to go through the market section, and you can hear the crowd chattering as you do.
And 431.311 for Not So Good.
All right, so this is match point. Best of 9, first to 5 points will win the match. That's No Good banning Ben for the next track, which could mean just about anything. BananaBoatKid banning Fire Mountain Rally. Oh, wait, that's a permaban. All right, he's not banning Fire Mountain Rally. He already did that. Yep, that's right.
BananaB Mountain Run.
And now That's No Good will be choosing the track.
Boonta Classic No Force. Okay, with Ben banned, I expect to see Mars or Bullseye.
I'm actually not sure which is faster between Mars and Bulls, but at best, Bulls is insane to use here.
I think Mars is slightly ahead of Bulls just because of his handling and his ability to boost so long.
Mars is, on this track, Mars is a really fast, pretty safe pick.
Yeah. I know Hayu Doro did his record with Elon Mack and got very close to Mars too, so it's possible he could be faster than Bulls as well. Oh, both of them looks like they're gonna both go with Bullseye.
Bullseye is A-OK. This is one of the windiest tracks in the game. This track, probably more than any other track, really wants to kill you.
Yeah. It has pretty much, unless you know it, the only truly unavoidable hazard in the game is the Tuscan Dune turn.
Well, it is kind of avoidable, but
yeah,
not on world record pace.
Yeah, not on world record pace on full track. And it looks like both of them are off.
Ooh, BananaBoatKid with an early death.
Oof. That is easy to do on this track.
That is a sync pause. Unlike That's No Good stream, which is, constantly pausing.
Neither of them
That's No
choosing
Good
to
took some
use.
damage.
Neither of them using the AI to take out the rocks or the pillar. Or
Yeah,
the
that is a thing you
stalactite.
can do in this track. This track has a few rocks that if you turn on one AI racer, then he will clear out some of the rocks for you when you get to them on laps 2 and 3.
Whoa! Crashes in the Beggar's Canyon arches.
Those arches are evil, man.
I think that's probably the hardest turns of the game because I know there's a skip on Bunta Classic that skips that section. That's why Ben just creams everyone on that because once you get past that major Arch Canyon turn, it's fairly straight for the most part, and you can get by with Ben's sheer boosting power.
Yeah. Those arches are so deadly because the turns are already really tight right there, and then you have stuff sticking out of the wall, so it's not safe to, miss a turn slightly and grind the outside wall because then you'll hit an arch and die.
And also on this track is the Jawa Sandcrow, which can be in a very precarious position on lap 2.
Yeah, but they're using Bullseye, so the timing on that will be very different, and they've both had a death.
Yeah. Still, it will probably be in a precarious spot in these upcoming laps. It just can sucker punch you.
Yeah, so the Sandcrawler moves on a track back and forth, and again on a timer like the Dozer in the previous track, so depending on what time you get there will depend where it is, and sometimes it's barely in the way at all, other times it's really annoying. This track is a really interesting pick for That's No Good. It's interesting that he's one of our less practiced runners, yet willingly goes to this extremely difficult track. This track is a favorite among many players, though, just because of it's the track from the movie, and it's very unique in a lot of ways. Yeah.
I know it's one of your favorites, especially King Bean Dip.
This is true. BananaBoatKid sneaking in a little bit of repair. If you take too much damage, then it will affect your handling, and so it's often a good idea to preemptively repair before that happens. And you want to do that when you're not on a turn because it affects your turning, and you don't want to do it when you should be boosting. So finding a time to repair on this track is difficult. You have to, find time in between boosts to do it.
Yeah, the Bullseye though repairs very quickly though.
Mm-hmm. Which is nice. Although, on the other hand, he does take damage really quickly.
Yeah. Second most fragile after Slide Pyramida.
That's No Good, coming down the main straight before the finish line.
Wow, BananaBoatKid almost lapped him.
Yeah, he's still a ways up.
Still. Narrowly avoided the Jawas.
Yep. So BananaBoatKid approaching the final turns here. He has this little slot to go through, and then it's the home straight. That's No Good still has about half of the lap to go.
for 518 from BananaBoatKid.
That
Really
is a
solid with
very
bullseye
strong.
despite,
Yeah.
even with a death, that's still a really strong time for bullseye.
Yep. Without that death, that probably would be the fastest tournament time with bullseye that we've seen.
518.675.
That's no good tackling the arches. We'll see whether or not he came out of it alive once it's okay. Looks like he was okay. Well, at least we have one pretty smooth stream. Ooh, looks like he died on the little rock that sticks out of the turn. Now he has the Tuscan Raiders to navigate here. He should be okay if he can get this boost off. He should be ahead of the shots. And he is. There's the little sandcrawler to dodge. A couple of final turns and then he will be on the home straight as well. See if he can make it through the gap okay. He does. That position looks really dangerous in front of that rock, and he did die on it apparently. That is not one of the breakable rocks.
Oh my god, 656.596. I think I beat that with no upgrade Ben.
Very nice. Alright, well, that was match point. So GG's to our runners. Hello, BananaBoatKid.
Hey.
You had some troubling deaths this match.
I know. We're lucky I wasn't mic'd up. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, to be fair, that death you took on Spice Mine Run happens to the best of runners, and I still remember from last year's tourney, that's what decided the final match.
Yeah, I'm so frustrated right now.
That's no good. How is that for you?
Was entertaining. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the track selection.
Well,
Yeah,
you did use all of the tracks.
Yeah. I picked all the interesting ones that I found difficult and some that I found entertaining. Yes. As probably evidenced by my many mistakes.
Yeah, your track picks were very interesting. I mean, Abyss and Boonta Classic are very interesting, very brave picks.
But I didn't go terribly wrong in Abyss, so I'm fine with that. You know?
That was the only one I also did not go horribly wrong. Out of all things. Yeah, that was I had so many deaths I disagreed with, and it was right from the get-go too. It's just so unfortunate. That's just the way it goes sometimes, especially with one try tournaments like this. That's just how it is.
I have to say, I think my luck was on me when I was on Abyss. There are so many areas where I'm like, I've crashed there like thousands of times. Why is this different? And there were so many other tracks. I'm like, how am I having this difficulty with it? I've never experienced this before. What am I doing up here? It's just, I had different outcomes on almost every track, but Abyss for some reason seemed to be the ones that wanted to work best.
Yeah, and that's the one that has the most unpredictable outcomes too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the most random. That's kind of funny. We both had that.
BananaBoatKid, on Abyss, you did take the tournament record.
I did.
That includes both previous years.
Wow. Well, that's.
Yep,
I was pretty nervous on it because I just didn't want to fall down and take the long route, so I played it pretty safe.
Yeah. I know the feeling because that track makes me turn timid every time, and I can only use Bullseye on it because he's so agile on it.
Yeah. It's a very difficult track to do under pressure. I just figured that out.
Oh man. You're asking somebody who's done that for 20 years and still can only do it with Bullseye and Mars.
I thought about using Bullseye, but no, I just went with it. I'm like, you know what? I do this track literally all the time because it's my first track in NG Plus runs. I'm like, I should be fine.
Yeah.
I have the most
Yeah.
time on Abyss out of any track for myself.
It is the one that is the most punishing, which makes it really
Oh,
entertaining. So.
But yeah, it was fun still. I hope next time I just hope I do better. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's pretty disappointing.
Yep.
But it's okay. It was just the first round. It's fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, I sort of am doing all the ones because we're in groups at the moment. So I'm going right. The only one that I've got a feasible chance of not coming last in is this one. So I'm going to go off and do all the harder ones first, and so then I'm prepared myself mentally for the final one. I've played the game long enough. Points. I'll be
Makes sense.
better. I doubt it'll work, but it makes sense.
Yeah, so thank you to our runners, That's No Good, and BananaBoatKid. And also Game Draco for joining me.
Yeah, thanks
And
everyone.
again-
Thanks for the commentary.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for doing.
Yeah, GG
Without
man.
you, the race would be very entertaining. Would be somewhat less entertaining.
Alright, well, may the force be with you.
See you guys.
See y'all
Good luck,
tomorrow.
everyone.
Bye.